All right, the movements I'm going to show you in this video are going to help anybody who wants to develop upper body strength. They're going to be really beneficial for anybody that finds that they get tight neck and shoulders or find upper body strength hard, like achieving things like full push-ups or chin-ups. So if this is you, then this session is a great place to start. It's an excellent session to do as a warm-up or preparatory work before any sort of gym session or before your yoga session, but it can be done as its own thing as well. Okay, so just, as a small 15-minute circuit at home or down the park or anything like this. Each of the movements I show you can be regressed and progressed, so it's always really important to find the level of exercise that is appropriate to you. I'll try to give you some options throughout this video, but please feel free to reach out to us if you need a specific regression or progression to make it challenging for the level that you're at right now. There are 4 exercises I'm going to cover in this video: scap push-ups, active hangs, pull-ups, and a top support. Okay, all of these movements focus on the depression of the shoulder blade and actually finding strength in that shape. Let's jump right in. So the first movement is a scapular push-up. All right, so with the scapular push-up, you want to set your hands up on the floor, spreading your fingers as wide as you can, taking a really firm grip of the ground, just as you would through your yoga practice. Okay, really important to connect the hands to the floor and work from the ground. Now, set your shoulders so that they're right above your wrists. Okay, so the whole arm is vertical. And just begin first of all on your knees in like a flat back position. And we're going to go through the movement of retracting the shoulder blades without any shrugging and protracting the shoulders. Okay, so retracting, protracting, just through that shoulder blade area, trying to keep the spine still. Okay, often when we do this for people, they will drop into like lumbar extension here or rounding the back like a cat-cow. You want your spine to stay nice and long and just feel this movement across the shoulder blades only. The other key thing is to ensure that the elbows stay straight. When we come down, people will want to bend or roll their hands out. You want to keep the hands firm, elbows straight, and move into retraction while maintaining that. Once you have a feel of that motion, we want to add some load. So coming up into full support. All right, so key things with this is not to shrug. Okay, when we come into retraction, usually the shoulders will elevate. I only want you to move into a retraction as far as you can keep the shoulders away from your ears. Okay, elbows straight, palms stay grounded, and you only come onto your toes if you're able to support that position. What I find in the beginning is people might be able to do 2 or 3 repetitions on the toes, and then they'll need to drop to knees into like a half push-up position and continue the reps. Okay, this is fine. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we need to find the version of exercise that's a challenge to you, but also doable. Okay, and we want to be working around that 10 rep range. So you want to pause the video and do 10 repetitions of your scapular push-up. The second movement, okay, we're going to go into hanging and then active hanging. Okay, so with the hanging and active hanging, I've got the gymnastics rings hanging here from the roof, which is a great option. Monkey bars, a bar, a chin-up bar. You can really use anything. So if you don't have access to gymnastics rings, it's by no means a problem. You just need to find something you can hang off. So if you've never done any hanging, I would first of all just get used to this. Okay, a strong grip of your hands and letting your body weight sink down. You'd want to be able to hang for about 45 to 60 seconds pretty comfortably before we move on to the next exercise. Okay, so that's your first goal, is to be achieving that 60-second passive hang. And once you're able to do that, you want to work on active hangs for a set of 10 reps. So I'm going to face the other way. An active hang, we go from that passive position of relaxing down and pulling up without bending the elbows as far as we can. Releasing back down, pulling back up. Okay, ideally doing this with our feet off the floor. Relaxing down, sinking nice and deep, pulling up from the scapula, elbows straight and holding for 3, 2, 1. If you can't get through the full set with your feet off, you just start adding a little bit of toe assist to get you through to the 10 repetitions. Okay, so pause the video if you need to, go and do 10 reps of your active hang. The third exercise is a pull-up. Okay, so with the pull-up, I love doing them on the gymnastics rings. Obviously I have them here and it's super versatile. But you can, if you're using like a park or a gymnasium to do this, the parks always have kids setups like monkey bars and things where you can find a bar at the appropriate height to do this. Otherwise, if you're at a gym, what I would usually do is use the squat rack machine. Use the squat rack and put a barbell across the squat rack and you hold onto the barbell. Okay, so a few options there for how to bring this into your routine. But essentially you want to have a bar that sits at your sternum, okay? So you can touch the sternum to the bar, you can pull the shoulders back and down, and have your toes on the floor. Okay, from this position we're going to be learning coming down into that full hang, back up through an active hang, and sternum back to the bar. Now, ideally we build these up to the point where you can lift your whole body weight with this form and not have your feet on the ground, okay? But I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, you're trying to build basic scapular strength, and we're going to need our feet on the floor for quite a while, okay? This does take quite some time to build this strength. So first things first is a strong grip, sternum touching. The thing that we see a lot is the shoulders wanting to round forward. So really pull them back into retraction and set them down away from your ears. Now, as you start to lower down, you want to maintain that retraction and depression as best you can. Okay, so notice if your shoulders have started to come up, pause, correct yourself, and continue on. Continue to correct all the way until your elbows are straight and the shoulders are still back and down. Then relax into this full passive hang. Back to active, begin arching and retracting, and pull back to the top. You want to do this one nice and slow for 5 reps. Okay, really emphasizing the way down. If this is very difficult, don't worry about pulling back up. Just do the eccentric. And you can just kind of stand up and start again. It won't take you long till you can stitch them together and come up and down with the support of your feet. And then eventually you would work on coming down without your feet, coming back up with your feet. And this is one of the ways we build a proper chin up, proper pull up into your routine. The last exercise we're going to cover is the top support. Now again, this can be done in lots of different places, but essentially we need 2 objects nice and strong that we can put our weight on and lift our feet off of. So I'm going to show you using our parallel bars. We have many clients that do these at home off 2 stools, like just your 2 kitchen chairs, and you can bring your chairs next to you and do them from there. You can do them off the gymnastics rings, but it's much harder. And again, if you're training at parks and outdoor spaces, there's usually 2 parallel bars that you can find to do this work on. Okay, so on the parallettes, we want to be finding our hands hip width, so enough space for our hips to come between our wrists without getting stuck. Okay, then we want to turn so the elbow creases point forward, externally rotating the arms and pushing down so we're in scapular depression. Okay, you might notice all the movements I've showed you today include depressing the scap while starting to add load and getting stronger. Okay, this is one of the big key things in stopping our overactive neck and traps, taking all the load throughout your yoga class, is getting stronger under here. Okay, so elbows turn forward, we push downward, feeling like we're trying to get taller with the goal of lifting our toes. Okay, if you're on something higher, you can have your legs behind you or down just hanging. They don't need to be up in this tuck. If we're doing the tuck, it's going to be working the abs as well. But yes, if you're on something higher, the legs can just hang. Now we want to be building this one up till you can do 30 seconds unsupported. The common things we'll see is people start to round their back or of course shrug or turn the elbows in. So these are the things you're going to combat, and if it means keeping your toes on the floor to do so, then this will be fine. You'll get stronger faster by giving yourself the right support. Okay, so these are the 4 exercises we've covered. You've got your scap push-up, and you want to be doing 10 repetitions. Hanging, starting with a 60-second passive hang. Once you can do that, getting 10 reps of the active to passive hang. The third thing is doing these pull-ups. 5 slow reps, focusing on retraction and depression of your shoulders. And the fourth exercise is the top of dip hold, where we're looking at depressing the shoulders and holding for 30 seconds. If you build this circuit into your routine 2 to 3 times per week, you should see a significant improvement in your yoga and general upper body strength. I guess the important thing to mention is to bring the awareness of this area into your practice. When you're coming to the floor, how you're holding your hands, turning your elbows and loading your shoulders, bringing the new awareness and the strength that you're gaining in this session into your practice is going to be crucial. Reach out if you have any questions. Enjoy.